Hello, everybody. We just had to watch that absolute peak before everything started. So, today we're going to be playing High Isle. Welcome to the stream, everybody, by the way. Thank you for showing up in chat. Is this the famous Elder Scrolls 6-7? Yes, you caught me. I need to be here. And I need to be on Elder Scrolls Online, which I should be on. Now, things might be a little bit weird recording-wise. You guys are seeing the full screen right now, I hope. I was going through, how's it going, Tristan? I was going through some issues with my second monitor, so I think tomorrow I am going to have to drop a small chunk of change on a new monitor, because my old one I've had since middle school. So my setup is pretty crazy. Today, we're going to hop into this, though, and I will need to turn the desktop audio down, the game down a little bit. I've been busy working on a couple of projects. I always like to let people know. It's a little sneak peek for the 19 of you that are here right now. So what I'm going to be doing in the next couple days, I'm going to be making a video on Elder Scrolls Sentinel, which I am not one hundo on if that is actually the confirmed name, but it seems to be the confirmed name. So that's going to be one thing that I'm working on. Just a small video talking about it, because it would be, to be honest, it would be dumb for me to not make a video on that. So while people are talking about it, I'm going to make a video on that. And for channel members, I probably will release the video just to everybody first, because it's kind of hot news. I tend to do that like when the Elder Scrolls, like the Bethesda AI video that I made a while ago, that I just released to the public quickly because I needed to, or I wanted to get that out in a timely fashion. But then after that, we will have my review of the companions from Skyrim. And I've actually, so for anyone who saw my poll, there's a reason that I made that poll about the colors of the bound weapons. So I have an idea for a series that I want to start, which is basically beating Skyrim with different colors. So I actually did need to know if people considered the bound weapons to be blue or purple. And I think I'm going to be considering them purple. But that's an idea that I have in the pipeline. I also wanted to... I know that you can call it indigo, but for the purposes of the video that I'm thinking about doing, I would need to know purple or blue. Because if we had indigo as its entire own tier, it would just be a bound weapons video, and that wouldn't be super interesting. However, that's an idea I've got going. The companions video will be also, I'm thinking about how to create it currently. But we have, people largely said that they like the companions and the College of Winterhold. It was a pretty close poll that I did on that too. There seems to be some serious confusion over what the true best or worst questline is. The best of the worst questline in Skyrim. I would argue it's wholeheartedly the companions. We did a stream on that recently, if anyone would like to go see that. The companions is just utter bullshit, man. I think as a faction, I think when you say questline, it gets a little more debatable, but as a faction, the companions is the worst. You only have to talk to 6 members throughout the whole questline. 2 of them die. And one of them is Yorland Greymane, so he's not even a member of the companions. So the whole quest line is pretty cheeks. So I'm going to be doing a video about that. It is easier to make companions over college. You can hold that opinion. I'm just going to make sure to prove it. I'm just going to make sure to prove that opinion incorrect in the next weeks to come here. So, with facts and evidence, Ben Shapiro style. But I do really like making like critique review style things, because that's just the type of person that I am. I love to analyze that type of stuff. So we're going to be doing a deep analysis into why I think the Companions is such a colossal failure. And anyway, then I'm gonna get into the actual Souls video that I've been talking about for forever, because it has been, I do apologize, it's been like a while since well, I guess I did make the Arden-Sul video, but I did promise the Souls video before even the Arden-Sul video, so the Souls video has been a promise for a while. I'm hoping to come true on that promise after the Companions video and after the Sentinel video. So that's my game plan. Just wanted to talk shop and strategy with everybody here about what the plans are on the channel in the next little bit and what's going on. And then those color playthroughs will probably happen on my other channel. I don't know when. I have no date. So we're gonna start High Isle. And I can't remember actually on this character if I have started High Isle, because I've never finished it, but I may have started it once. So let's see here. We go to DLC. Fire Song is on sale. Okay, High Isle. No, we want to go to Collections. Stories. Okay, this is it. Oh god, Sheogorath takes a holiday. Don't remind me. Spam Frenzy for the red playthrough. So I've narrowed it down to, we have Frenzy, Vampiric Drain. It's going to be pretty fun for that, I think. And then a bunch of different red armors. So a lot of red armor is pretty late game stuff, where you at least have to play a lot of the Dark Brotherhood for it. But I think, like, what did I narrow it down to? You have to be level 20 for the Mythic Dawn armor, or not armor, but robes. You have to at least progress to, I think, Vittoria Vici's wedding. You can kill her and take her clothes, and those are pretty red. The Dark Brotherhood armor is also red. So, anyway, High Isle. We're gonna play High Isle now, and I'm gonna stop spoiling things for my future content. What do I think of the Reach Folk? The Reach Folk are really fucking awesome. Okay, High Isle of Knights and Knaves not accepted. The Society of the Steadfast calls all able-bodied adventurers to the island of High Isle in the Sisters Archipelago to assist in a matter of great import to all alliances. Seek out Lady Arabelle de Vaux in the city of Gonfalon Bay for details. Does Imperial armor count as red? I was gonna go over a clause for that. I want it to be more red than not red. You know what I mean? So, like, Imperial armor probably would count more as brown than as red. But the purer that we can get to a full color, the better. So, like, Cicero's armor, for example, that would be red. The Penitus Oculatus armor, I think, would be red. I'd have to really think about, like, what counts and what's not. I think, like, in your head, if it vibes more as being red, then it's red. It's kind of a vibes challenge at that point. Okay, so I have, full disclosure, I have started High Isle in the past. But when I did play High Isle, it was on console, and it was years and years ago. So I genuinely don't remember a single thing that happens in this quest. Solitude guard armor, yes. So the guard armor is going to be peak for this run. The Riften guard armor is going to be a lifesaver, as it's, I believe, the only purple armor in the game. Okay, of Knights and Knaves. There's a brewery near me that is, so their original thing was going to be English cider, was the air quotes there. And the whole idea was that the names of the ciders were going to be after things such as the Knave, the Scholar, the Apprentice, very, like, old English style things. Okay, we'll talk to Jakarn really quick, too, because I believe he is part of this questline.
Lady Arabelle will appreciate an outsider's perspective. She's at the Gonfalon Bay docks with Lord Baccaro, if you want to introduce yourself. The problem I mentioned, it involves some missing ships. Anyway, tell her Jakarn sent you. I'm her favorite.
Already, we have a strong start, as Jakarn did not tell us any problem. Lady Arabelle will appreciate an outsider's perspective. She's at the Gonfalon Bay docks with Lord Vaccaro if you want to introduce yourself. The problem I mentioned? Yeah, there is no problem you mentioned, bro. But I think that he is the original one that gives you the quest. In fact, let me restart here just to give the DLC a fair shake. We will go to quests, and I will actually abandon this quest.
Over
and
here.
There we go.
I could use your help.
So, Jakarn is the original quest giver, so this will add some context here. And yes, this is Steve Bloom.
You're a sight for sore eyes. I've been looking for someone to help with a problem, but I wasn't expecting you to come by. My patron needs someone like you, competent and unknown here on High Isle. I promise it'll be worth your while.
Who's your patron?
Lady Arabelle DeVoe. Maybe you've heard of her. She's a famous investigator and author, diplomat too, which is why she's here. She runs in circles way above my station, but I owe her a debt that I'm trying to pay. Maybe you can help me do that.
What's in it for me?
A fair bit of gold, most likely. Lady Arabelle works for one of the richest nobles in all Tamriel, Lord Vaccaro Valoris. He's sponsoring an important conference here on the island, but there's a problem. Trust me, the payday will be worth it.
Okay, I need to rewind the dialogue because I think
You're a sight for sore eyes.
my patron needs
Lady
someone.
Arabelle DeVoe. Maybe you've heard of her. She's a famous investigator and author. You're a sight for sore eyes. I've been looking. A fair bit of... Lady Arabelle will appreciate an outsider's perspective. She's at the Gonfalon Bay docks with Lord Vaccaro if you want to introduce yourself. The problem I mentioned, it involves some missing ships. Anyway, tell her Jakarn sent you. I'm her favorite.
You mentioned owing a debt to Lady Arabelle?
Long story. It involves multiple maidens, a few princes, and one charming rogue who stole all their hearts. Then the authorities got involved. Fortunately, Lady Arabelle agreed to take responsibility for my good behavior. Now I owe her.
How have you been, Jakarn?
You know me, every day a new adventure. Had a good thing going for a while, smuggling spices out of Hagath. Got married twice. No, wait, 3 times. The third one nearly got me hanged, but Lady Arabelle saved me from the gallows.
You certainly lead an interesting life.
I try, but you know how it is. I prefer my independence, but Lady Arabelle isn't a bad boss. Not once you get to know her and get used to her tyrannical methods. Maybe you could put in a good word for me? Help clear my debt sooner rather than later.
Okay, I'm still like...
Long story.
Okay, yeah, he just said long story. Alright, well, let's get going. So I clowned on High Isle in a video that I made a while back called Elder Scrolls Online Chapter Theory. And the only reason that I clowned on High Isle is because I have only ever heard negative things about this expansion. So, curious to see if we're proven... if that rumor is proven to be true or not. I can't imagine it's, like, great, but I don't know.
My dockhands are watching for your cargo, Lady Arabelle. They know it's precious.
There was a storm off the coast. Perhaps it delayed the ships.
Forgive me if I do the job you hired me for, Lord Vaccaro.
I like her glasses.
I have a keen eye for talent, my dear, and you're practically oozing it from your pores. I am Lady Arabelle DeVoe. If you're looking for gainful employment, I have a proposition for you that pays exceedingly well. Care to hear more?
What was that about a proposition?
Oh, nothing tawdry, my dear. We'll be too busy for romantic shenanigans before long, I expect. Some precious cargo was supposed to sail in on the morning tide, but it never arrived. I need someone not known around the island to be my eyes and ears.
Your eyes and ears?
While tales of my exploits credit me with all sorts of talents, I can't be in more than one place at a time. I could use a fresh face to mingle with the locals, determine if anyone knows anything about my 3 missing ships, and their cargo.
All right, I'm willing to help.
Lord Bacaro's conference can't proceed without that cargo. Here's what I need you to do. Check the inn, the lighthouse, and the Lochbane Shallows. See if anyone knows or saw anything. Then meet me outside the North Gate to compare notes.
Okay, I am going to say, Elder Scrolls Online has a pattern. It has a very noticeable pattern of give you a quest and go see exactly 3 things. 3 things. This happens in a bunch of quest lines where you have to go to 3 different places or do 3 things, collect 3 items. We saw it in the Sheogorath quest line as well. You had to collect 3 items twice. You had to collect 3 items twice. So, I don't know. 3 cheeses you had to try with Sheogorath. There's patterns of 3. Tell me more about the locations you want me to investigate.
Certainly. Since you're new to High Isle, I understand you may not be as familiar with the local area as I am. What do you wish to know?
It gets so boring, it does. Tell me about the lighthouse.
Gonfalon Head Lighthouse, blessed by Kinnereth herself, stands atop the hill just west of town. It offers an excellent vantage from which to watch the nearby waters. Perhaps the lighthouse keeper saw something that will help.
Like the Stormlord Bacaro mentioned.
Possibly. When ships fail to make port, it's only natural to wonder if they were damaged or blown off course by a storm. The lighthouse keeper has a perfect view of the approach to Gonfalon Bay. If my ships were out there, she might have seen them.
Okay. Tell me about the Lochbane Shallows.
The currents of Lochbane are strong. Flotsam from the open sea often washes up along the shores of the waterway. Some of High Isle's poorer folk comb the beach looking for salvage. Let's hope they haven't found any today.
Okay. Tell me about the inn.
The ancient Anchor Inn sits just up the street near the city gate. It's one of the more popular places on the island. In my experience, inns are an excellent location to pick up rumors.
True, true. Where should I start?
Wherever you think is best, my dear. But do get started soon. My intuition tells me that some sort of mischief is afoot, and my intuition is rarely wrong.
You mentioned a conference. Tell me about that.
The gentleman beside me, Lord Bacaro Valoris, leads the Society of the Steadfast. They're a philanthropic fellowship that provides aid to people who have suffered in the Three Banners War. The Society is sponsoring a conference here on the island.
That's kind of cool, the Society of the Steadfast. That's interesting. What's the purpose of this conference?
That's a well-guarded secret, my dear. Perhaps after you've proven yourself, I can bring you in on the details. For the moment, knowing any more won't help us find out what happened to my missing ships.
Okay, let me catch up on chat. My cat is such a dumbass. Every time I let her outside, by the time I'm done in the kitchen, she's sitting back at the door wanting to come inside. That's just cat behavior. High Isle isn't that bad. After Gold Road and Solstice, High Isle is okay. High Isle gets a seat at the barbecue, the cookout. It's because of numerology or something. Yeah, for sure. Rule of 3 is key to make any writing good. Yeah, if there was actually some hidden meaning behind all the times they make you go do 3 things, that would be incredible. Is all ESO voice acting so meh? It's not bad, but it doesn't feel Elder Scrolls quality or vibe. It feels more so like a Skyrim mod. I know it's an MMO, but still. I think that, I don't know, like, Elder Scrolls is not particularly known for having great voice acting, really. I wouldn't say. I mean, I think, like, one of the things that's constantly talked about with Elder Scrolls is how there's, like, 7 voice actors in Oblivion and, like, 15 voice actors in Skyrim, right? A lot of the performances are made by the same people. So I've never heard people say, like, Elder Scrolls has great voice acting, in particular. If her ships were wrecked, she would be rolling in insurance money. What the fuck is she on about? True. The big insurance barons of High Isle. What do I think of the Reach Folk? The Reach Folk are very cool. What happens if your missing ships don't turn up?
That's not an option I care to contemplate. Not while there's still a chance to find them. Forgive me for being evasive, but it's a rather sensitive topic to discuss in public. We've already faced adversity, and the conference has yet to begin.
You mentioned tales of your exploits before. Who are you again?
Me? Oh, I'm no one special, my dear. I've been an adventurer, a Lion Guard officer, a spy, a diplomat. People claim the Investigator Vale stories are about me, or that I wrote them. Ridiculous. I'm retired now, but I still dabble from time to time.
Did you write the Investigator Vale books?
Oh, pish-posh. Do these look like the ink-stained fingers of a writer of overly imaginative and lurid tales to you?
I don't know, you're wearing gloves.
I'm rather fond of the bawdy investigator and her adventures, though. They remind me of my younger days.
What's your role here?
I'm overseeing security for the conference. A few months ago, Lord Bacaro approached me, explained his grand plans, and lured me out of retirement, you might say.
How's it going, Angelina? I really like the voice acting in ESO's base game. The more time passes, the more the voice acting seems to get cartoony. Yeah, I would agree with that. The problem is ESO uses modern speech patterns, breaking immersion. Well, here's how I kind of feel about that, is like, when you start talking about modern, right? In this sense, Elder Scrolls does not exist on planet Earth. So if they want to use modern speech patterns in their writing, I don't care, because this does not take place 1,000 or 2,000 years ago. It takes place on Nirn, right? So talking about like for me, that's not an issue. I understand how that is an issue for some people, but like I almost think of Nirn as like an alien planet, where it's like the people on this planet are not. They're all just like aliens. It's like humans in Star Wars they're humans, but like they're not humans, right? So that's kind of where I think of that line there. Displaying high Isle chat, it's over. Milo, thank you for the $2. Fall asleep to your Elder Scrolls lore playlist. Thank you. You're welcome. I appreciate to know that it's nice to know that you're watching that playlist. I try to organize everything on my channel in a nice playlists and stuff, so I'm glad they're getting use. Sounds like someone just murdered someone off screen with the Dark Brotherhood stuff. She's like, rolled doll was what made me laugh earlier. Also, your name being Breton Legacy and watching this stream feels correct. Okay, why did Lord Bacaro select you for this task?
My charming personality. When I was an agent for High King Emmerich, I traveled widely and met many dignitaries, including Lord Bacaro. He asked me to make sure everything went smoothly for his conference. So far, it's been anything but.
Okay. We'll talk to Lord Bacaro. Why not?
Ah, a visitor. Or another one of Lady Arabelle's associates. Either way, welcome to our island.
Not how I expected this guy to talk.
Valoris, founder of the Society of the Steadfast, at your service. I hope you find your visit to High Isle restful and profitable.
You mentioned a storm off the coast?
Yes, a sudden squall of unusual intensity. It died out just as quickly as it arose. I noticed it off to the northeast. Dark clouds filled that part of the horizon. Perhaps our ships were delayed by the shifting winds, or decided to wait out the storm.
Okay, what's so special about these particular ships?
I'm afraid that's privileged information. Suffice it to say, the cargo coming in on those ships is vital to the conference the Society of the Steadfast is sponsoring.
And you don't share Lady Arabelle's concerns.
Of course I do. But I learned long ago to have patience when it comes to such matters. Not every setback is a conspiracy, and not every delay is the act of a Daedric cult. Though, if you do learn anything of imminent concern, please let us know.
Fair enough. Tell me about the Society of the Steadfast.
I'm a philanthropist. I started the Society of the Steadfast to give relief to those caught up in the suffering caused by the Three Banners War. We establish healing tents for the wounded, distribute food and water, and provide whatever aid we can.
So why sponsor a conference? I bet he's going to say, it's privileged information. Because that's what Arabelle said.
Ah, as Lady Arabelle said, that's not something we're ready to talk about.
Okay.
Not until the cargo from the missing ships is secured. After that, I'll answer any questions you have. I'll even proclaim the purpose of the conference from the town square.
Okay, I so far, I gotta say, I do like these two NPCs. This guy's growing on me, and I liked Lady Arabelle. Tell me more about High Isle.
High Isle is the primary island in the Sisters Archipelago. Technically, we're a Breton holding, but we try to behave as a neutral port. People from all over Tamriel come to experience the natural beauty of the island. Well, nobles mostly.
So it's a vacation spot for nobles?
Parts of it. But we have a rich history, and the same sorts of dangers you'd experience on the mainland. Bandits, pirates, wild beasts. And you might want to avoid our sister island, Amanos. It's a harsh jungle that has long served as a prison.
So it's Australia. A prison for who?
Mostly political prisoners from the Empire at first. Later, rival nobles, pirates, murderers. The worst of the worst. Today, it also includes war criminals and certain prisoners of war. Amanos Station is friendly enough, but the jungle is deadly.
I actually needed to know. God, I'm forgetting. I had to look into that lore recently about Galen being a prison island, and I forget what lore video that was in, but I want to say that was in one of my videos, but I had forgotten about that. Does ESO feed into your understanding of Elder Scrolls lore, or not relevant? ESO is definitely relevant. I think so. Okay. Some people will tell you that Elder Scrolls Online is the worst thing to ever happen to the Elder Scrolls. And those people are kind of right. But then other people will tell you that Elder Scrolls Online is like their favorite game in the series, or like the best game in the series. And those people, I think, are over-exaggerating. I think, okay, I haven't said this analogy correctly. Both sides are saying the wrong thing. Elder Scrolls Online has some good, some bad. Recently, it has been more bad than good, but there are some very cool things that have been added to the lore. So I think that, like, what basically my chapter theory video, which honestly, I'm going to plug my own stuff on my own stream. I'm going to put it in the chat. Dareloth chapter theory is what I will look up. So I think the best way to go about Elder Scrolls Online lore, that is pinned now in chat, if anyone would like to go watch that later or add it to their watch later playlist. I think that the best way to deal with Elder Scrolls Online lore is to essentially cherry pick stuff and pick the good stuff out and leave the bad stuff behind. In whatever way we can do that that's lore friendly.
I'm a dockmaster, not a bloody mage. What does the lady expect me to do if her ships never made it to the docks in the first place?
Okay. This guy looks like a Tim Robinson extra. You don't seem very concerned about these missing ships. Like, I'm thinking of the guy from the like, if you shaved his face, he looks like the guy from the car sketch. You don't seem very concerned about these missing ships.
Should I be? Lady Arabelle suspects some sort of foul play, but not on my docks. Not a chance. Gonfalon Bay is safe. Everyone knows that. Trouble comes from the mainland, not from here. Of course, the waters to the northeast can be treacherous.
I love the Argonian lore from ESO, and I like the Khajiit lore too. Yes, the Argonian stuff in Murkmire is awesome. They've added some cool stuff, but we definitely can't take some stuff as canon because it would break everything. Yeah, that's the point that I made in my retcons video, right? If you have to accept lore that's so bad it breaks 5 other things, you can't do it. You just have to throw it away, basically. Okay, treacherous house elf.
The closer you get to Amanos, the more unpredictable the currents become. And storms constantly barrage the coast, not to mention sea elf pirates. A good captain knows these things. None of that would keep Lady Arabelle's ships from reaching port.
I mean, the Sea Elves are known for creating storms and stuff, so this could be just a Sea Elf problem. Lord Bacaro mentioned a powerful storm.
Like I said, storms close to Amanos aren't that unusual. I doubt the ships we're waiting for would have sailed that far north. Just in case, I sent people to look for signs of wreckage in the shallows. I really don't expect them to find any, though.
Okay. Yeah, the ESO expanded on Reachman lore. I was fascinated by them in Skyrim, so I was glad they expanded on them. Yeah, they, I was just explaining to my buddy, so my friend has been playing his first ever playthrough of Skyrim, and it's been fascinating to watch. But he was talking to me about Reachman, and I was like, yeah, you know, they're actually like a whole ass society of people, and the game just doesn't do a good job of like showcasing that, but they are super interesting. And I really grew an appreciation for them after playing through whatever that was called, Markarth. That was a really good expansion. Okay. Ooh, Lightkeeper Menoir? It's not Menoit.
Oh, a traveler. I thought those vile knights had returned. Forgive me, I must continue praying for the return of our idol. Without it, this tower's light will remain dark.
What happened to the lighthouse flame?
This lighthouse is special. It's blessed by Kinnereth, the god of winds and sea. No fire serves as a beacon for nearby ships, but the divine light of Kinnereth herself. But without the sacred idol, the light cannot shine. Alas, the idol was stolen.
Who stole the item?
Knights in unmarked livery broke in and stole the Kinnereth idol. I watched the scoundrels flee to the west with the sacred edifice. Perhaps, dare I ask, would you be willing to recover the idol for the lighthouse so I may restore the beacon?
Tell me more about these knights first.
They may wear the garb of knights, but the ruffians who assaulted me carry themselves like robbers and outlaws. Whoever they are, they're dangerous. Be wary of them, and may the wind guide you.
I'll find the knights and retrieve the item.
Bless you, traveler. Please understand, to my order, this is more than just a lighthouse. This beacon spreads Kinnereth's blessing across both land and sea, but only with the idol in place, so it must be returned.
It seems like the idol is the more important piece here. The Sacred Phallus, yeah. Depending on the setting of Elder Scrolls 6, I'd love to see the Malmur in a mainline game, or maybe as a playable race. I think, here's what I think. You ready for what I think? I think, after playing Baldur's Gate 3, really opened my mind to, like, man, we should have more races in the next game. Like, it does suck. The only guy I think I've seen in an Elder Scrolls game that is not... Or, okay, scratch that. The only two guys I've seen in an Elder Scrolls game, in a mainline Bethesda Game Studios Elder Scrolls game, that are races that are not... Okay, this is getting to be very specific. Mortal races that are not the 10 playable ones is what I'm talking about here. You have Knight Paladin Gelibor, one, and you have the ghost of some Seichi guy in Oblivion. Okay, we don't really get to see other races presented in the games very often, and I think it'd be super cool if, like, I don't even need to necessarily play. Yes, Yagrim Bagarn. There we go. 3. He's a dwarf. Thank you, Bird of Dawn. But I think it would just add so much to the world. Like Elder Scrolls, yeah, Nagasta in Redguard as well. Almalexi's a Chimer, true. So we're at what, 5 now? But those are like individuals, right? Like I think it's so cool in Baldur's Gate 3 when I'm playing and I come across like a bugbear or a hobgoblin or like a friendly mind flayer, or I get to talk to like some methods, you know. I get to talk to like Skyrim has the Reeklings. You get to talk to the Reeklings in that one quest on Solstar. That's so fun. Do that more. Like I would love to see more of that integrated into the next game. Rebecca's half a Chimer, so that's like 4.5 right now. Yeah. But I think like that, you know, I can be kind of a critical asshole. I don't think that that's a problem with the games as they currently are, but I do think that that would be a super cool thing to add to the world building in the next game. I want to see Sea Elves. I also want to see Sea Elves. I think that would be really cool. I would like to play as a Sea Elf as well. I'd like to have the option to play as a Sea Elf, to play as a Seichi, and I would like to see unique dialogue for when I'm walking around and people being like, oh shit, a Sea Elf. Like, and then they start trying to kill me or something. I don't know. Give me an opportunity to talk myself down. That type of stuff is awesome. Okay, let's read this. Knight Stegor. Take a band of recruits to the Gonfalon Head Lighthouse and remove the Kinnereth idol. The Lord wants the light extinguished to deny Kinnereth's guidance to certain ships arriving soon. Do not damage the idol or harm the Keeper unless you have no other choice. We don't want the lighthouse to remain dark forever. Just take the idol, find a good hiding place, and await further instructions. The Ascendant Magus. Okay, we'll take the idol back. BG3 made me realize how good the Elder Scrolls could be. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Me too. Elder Scrolls 6 Hammerfell, Return of the Sinistral Elves. I mean, if we have to, you know, drug up the left-handed elves, fine. Whoa, what is that over there? I've never noticed that. Like, I've spent some time on High Isle. I've never noticed this before. Is that just like the Colossus of Rhodes Breton edition? That's pretty cool. I like that. That's something Morrowind nailed. What race you picked actually mattered to a degree. To a degree it does. I think Morrowind, for 2001 or 2, absolutely.
You
but I think, like,
and with the idol, place it here, and I shall call forth its light.
I think in general, Elder Scrolls needs it needs to just modernize itself, and like Elder Scrolls just needs to be more like an RPG, man.
Mother Kinnereth, this traveler has set right the desecration of this holy place. Return to us your blessing, and let your light shine over the land and sea. I cannot thank you enough. With the idol returned and the light restored, we can ensure the safe passage of many a weary traveler. Is there any way a priest of humble means could repay you? A blessing, perhaps?
3 ships never arrived in Gonfalon Bay. Did you see anything from up here?
Shortly after the lighthouse was pillaged, I spied 3 ships on the horizon. Then suddenly, the clouds darkened, and a terrible storm began to blow in. I lost sight of the ships after that. Perhaps they were simply blown off course?
Is that some sort of weather, or is that sort of weather common here?
Aminos is notorious for its storms, but Kinnereth generally blesses High Isle with fair weather. I wonder, the way the storm swept in seemed unnatural, and it happened so soon after Kinnereth's idol was removed.
Okay, Starfield re-adding traits is a good sign for Test 6 being more RPG. I agree wholeheartedly. I think that's probably the best thing about Starfield. Needs less Todd mainstreaming, probably. I'm always willing to give a pinch of credit to Todd Howard because I don't know how much he actually is involved with the game's development. One thing that always struck out to me as being interesting is he was working on the Indiana Jones game as I think like an executive producer while also working on Starfield, I think at around the same time, which is super interesting to me. Or maybe it was like he was working on other stuff. I don't know what the fuck he does. You know, if he's got time to be an executive producer on Indiana Jones, what else is he like? What is he not doing at Bethesda? It's my question for Todd Howard. The clothing items for Argonians and Khajiit is very cool as well.
I cannot thank... Aminos is notorious. The idol has little value outside the lighthouse. Its light does not shine in any other location. My order believes Kinnereth's light blesses High Isle. Why steal the idol unless the knights meant to revoke her protection? A troubling thought indeed.
Cool. Any playthrough someone posted on X about seeing last week does not exist. I don't know what that is in reference to be honest. Seems Bethesda is more interested in making an easily digestible playthrough or playground than an RPG. I think there's something to that. Elder Scrolls certainly hasn't been in a great state as an RPG since about Morrowind, I would say. Oblivion, for as much of a good game that I think Oblivion is, it really is the first game to tip the dominoes over for Elder Scrolls, and like Daggerfall fans will tell you that Morrowind was the first one to do that. And like, if you really do look at Morrowind from Daggerfall, it is a downgrade from how complicated Daggerfall was. But you're trading the like huge world procedurally generated though, with 1990s technology of Daggerfall for a more curated 700 megabyte experience of just the island of Arden-Sul, which was handcrafted and hand developed by a team of less than 100, less than even 50 people, I believe. So Morrowind, I think the complaints that people have, that more Daggerfall fans have about Morrowind, are valid to an extent, but like not really. We're talking about different things when we're comparing Daggerfall and Morrowind. I would argue they're different in like, it would be cool to see Elder Scrolls return to a more Daggerfall-esque style at some point, but I think honestly at that point you would need to loan out another studio to work on something like that, because I don't think Bethesda has the capability to make something like Daggerfall again in the modern era.
You don't look like a salvager.
Oh, Milo, thanks for the $5. I'm off to bed. Thank you again for luring me to sleep. I listen to the chapter theory video now. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You don't look like a salvager. Come to join up with those so-called knights who've been hanging around, did you? Bah, I'd rather go hungry than swear myself to the likes of them.
3 ships never arrived at Gonfalon Bay. Have you seen anything?
Haven't seen anything sail by in the lock recently, and no new wreckage washed up today. But I've been keeping my head down. Those robber knights have been chasing off salvagers who won't promise to help them.
How would one get into playing Morrowind? I couldn't really play it personally, although I would like to experience it. Would you guys be interested if I made like a Morrowind tutorial? Because I think like, I always point people, if you're looking like right away, Google Lyle Schnub. I'll type his name in chat. Screen's gonna go black for a second. Look up Lyle Schnub tutorials. Lyle Schnub has great tutorials. He is the reason that I know how to play Morrowind, and I would highly recommend you go watch his stuff. But if anyone is like, hey, Dareloth, I want to hear you talk about it, I would be down to do a video about that at some point, because I genuinely think Morrowind is so good. I don't think it needs a remaster. I think it works as intended. It's got some bugs. It's got some problems. But I, from the bottom of my heart, I don't think that game needs a remaster. I think what that game needs is a better tutorial that teaches people how to play it. Because that's the biggest issue with that game, is that you spawn in and you start missing stuff with your sword and you feel like a fucking jackass. and then you're like, this game sucks, I can't even hit anything, and you throw the controller away and you uninstall, you know? But I think if you know how to play the game, it plays so well. I've done a handful of Morrowind playthroughs. It is like of the main 3 Elder Scrolls, like modern Elder Scrolls games, it is my least played of all of those. But I've done 4 or 5 playthroughs, and I really, really do like it. I really don't like the leveling system in Morrowind. What's crazy about the leveling system in Morrowind, I've actually never heard that. I've never heard that opinion from someone, but what's crazy about the leveling system in Morrowind is it's the exact same as the leveling system in Oblivion. Yet the Oblivion leveling system is the one that gets more flack than anything else, which I don't think it's the leveling system that's the problem then in Oblivion. It's the scaling is an issue in Oblivion. Anyway, I'm going to continue playing High Isle, but this is a very good discussion that we will continue after I talk to Orgerti Onus.
You don't look like a salvager. Come to join up with those so-called knights who've been hanging around, did you? Bah, I'd rather go hungry than swear myself to the likes of them.
3 ships never arrived at Gonfalon Bay. Have you seen anything?
Haven't seen anything sail by in the lock recently, and no new wreckage washed up today. But I've been keeping my head down. Those robber knights have been chasing off salvagers who won't promise to help them.
Tell me about these robber knights.
They were recruiting, or at least offering the chance to earn a reward. They wanted people ready to haul in whatever came ashore. Several salvagers went with them. I wouldn't, though. What I find is mine.
Where did the knights take the other salvagers?
To a cave just down the beach. But I'd avoid it if I were you. Old Charbel nearly lost his head snooping around there. I don't know if they found what they were looking for, but I think they left a few knights behind to watch the shallows.
Okay, goodbye. The only test game that needs a remaster is Redguard. Okay, I feel bad because Frostbreak is a buddy of mine. I mean, we're not, like, that tight or anything. We don't know each other personally, but, you know, we collab every once in a while, and I talk with him on Discord every once in a while.
Get away from me, stupid thing!
And I have still never fully watched his Redguard video. I need to watch that video. I'll watch it tonight. But I have never fully watched it. For some reason, I've just never completed the video. I think, like, I started it one time and I never finished it, but I know it's a really good video. And I need to actually finish it at some point, because I really, I think I want to play Redguard myself at some point, so I think maybe that's been a part of it, where it's like I don't want to get spoiled on stuff. But I should watch it, because I've heard good things. What is my favorite metal band? Favorite metal band? I like a lot of different rock music. I don't listen to a ton of metal, straight up. I listen to, like, I think when I was in high school... when I was in high school, I was pretty big into Avenged Sevenfold, but I still, there's a lot of Avenged Sevenfold songs I've never heard, so I really wouldn't consider myself, like, a fan of them. I'm like a casual fan of Avenged Sevenfold. I really like The Stage, not the album, but the song. I think The Stage is a good song. I really like the music video for The Stage. That music video is so goddamn good. But yeah, as far as metal goes, I don't really listen to a lot of metal. Like, I'll listen to it if it's on, but I don't go out of my way. What are we doing here? Search the cave. Oh, it's below. Okay. This expansion is really meh. Yeah, I've never finished it before. I've started it, but this is the point that I'm at right now. This is the farthest I've ever gotten in High Isle. Is the cave, like, down here? Did I miss something? The quest marker is not helping at the moment. Hey, there we go. Do I have a Discord server? I do have a Discord server. If you check the, if you go to my channel, I guess it'll take me 2 seconds here. I'll post the link. Okay, that is being weird. There's a link to the Discord server. I just watched just background noises Redguard video, and honestly, it would be good with a remaster. Fair enough. Avenged is legit what got me into metal. Nice. Yeah, I think like I really like Shepherd of Fire, Hail to the King, The Stage. There's a couple other ones that aren't coming to mind at the moment, but I haven't, like, I know Bat Out of Hell, I think, is one of their songs, but I'm not, like, familiar with it. Anyway. Knight Undrisi, or Undris. Within the next few days, several ships will be damaged on the approach to High Isle. We expect wreckage to wash up in Lochabane, or along the northeastern shore of High Isle, or the southeastern shore of Amanos. Capture any survivors from these ships and bring them to me. Muster all reliable recruits and make sure they are in place when the survivors wash ashore. Chase off any salvagers who refuse to assist us. Your new recruits may hesitate to lay hands on shipwreck survivors. Remind them their reward is a place in the Ascendant Order. As Knights of the People, they will never go hungry again. The Ascendant Magus. Sometimes I see people say Avenged Sevenfold is heavy rock and not metal, while ignoring that music subgenres don't really matter. That I agree. I think, so my favorite band, one of my favorite bands of all time is The Pretty Reckless. And I would argue that The Pretty Reckless have some songs that could be identified as metal. The Pretty Reckless is a pretty malleable band. All things considered, they don't necessarily stick to one style a bunch. So I think, yeah, like what you said, music subgenres are kind of like, they're kind of like the schools of Magic and Elder Scrolls. They're all bullshit. It doesn't really matter. Hi, Dareloth. I have 2 questions. 1, do I ever stream on Twitch? The answer, sometimes, but very rarely. 2, do you think they should add more cool gender stuff to Elder Scrolls 6, i.e. Vivek? I think it's very cool when fantasy plays with that. I think my position as a straight white man, I don't know how much I can weigh in on Elder Scrolls Online playing with gender a whole bunch as a concept. I think, like, it's interesting. It would be cool. I think, like, there's a lot of room in fantasy to explore all types of different topics. That's a big part of why D&D is so important to a lot of people, is D&D lets you explore characters through, you know, living in Fantasyland. And, like, you can play a gay character and explore your own identity through that. And so that's really cool.
I hear these knights are robbing people.
Not something that I've ever been the most interested in myself. But, if I recall, you mentioned cider earlier. Are you a fan? If so, I have a good recommendation. I do love cider, yes.
Hail, friend. Have you heard about the band of robber knights that waylaid travelers on the road to Gonfalon Bay? I came to High Isle to trade, but getting goods from the interior has become a roll of the dice.
Okay. I'll be right back. Sorry, be right back. I'll be back in like 5 to 25 seconds.
leave nothing but salt and spew in their wake.
Okay, I'm back.
Hail, friend. Have you heard about the band of robber knights that waylaid travelers on the road to Gonfalon Bay? I came to High Isle to trade, but getting goods from the interior has become a roll of the dice.
Robber Knights?
A rogue band that calls itself the Ascendant Order. I thought they were only active on the mainland, but they're here on High Isle. Rabble-rousers and troublemakers, if you ask me. And now I hear they're looting caravans outside the city walls.
Interesting. Speaking of rumors, have you heard anything about a trio of missing ships?
Not specifically, but I saw some fancy-pants nobles giving the dockmaster grief. Missing ships could mean anything. Storms, pirates, poor winds, worthless navigators. Try Sergeant Dane over there. He's with the Sisters Guard and knows a lot.
My site of recommendation is called Bulmers/Magners. It trades under Bulmers here in Ireland, but it's Magners in the UK and everywhere else, or elsewhere. Esoteric trademark nonsense. Regardless, it's delicious. One of the most popular Irish/British ciders. You probably wouldn't have a hard find finding it in North America. Sweet. Also, speaking of bands that I like, because you're from Ireland, I'm sure that you are, or maybe, I don't know, I'm sure that you're aware, but I do want to make my way to Dublin one day because I want to see the statue of Phil Lynott that's in Dublin. I really like, I've got a poster on my wall of Thin Lizzy. Thin Lizzy was a super important band to me in high school, and I think they're great, and I wish more people were onto them. But yeah, it's one of the big reasons that I actually want to go to Ireland at all in the first place. So I will just say High Isle in hindsight is good compared to future content. Yeah, we got to really weigh it with all the DLCs.
I'm off duty, newcomer. Got a complaint? Take it to one of the other guards.
I know the exact statue you're talking about. I live in Dublin, by the way. That makes sense with your with your tag on YouTube. Yeah, the name didn't give it away. Yeah. I'm looking for information about a trio of missing ships.
We police High Isle. Ships that haven't arrived yet aren't our problem. Besides, we've got our hands full with these so-called Ascendant Order Knights. They're stirring up trouble all across the island.
What do you know about the Ascendant Order?
They're little more than well-armed bandits. They've been recruiting the poor to bolster their numbers. Now they're robbing caravans while claiming they fight for justice. Honest folk don't hide their faces behind helmets and masks.
Just FYI, the bar that statue is outside of is a total shithole and very overpriced. Don't recommend. Fair enough. I'll just go there, take a picture. Oh, how do you pronounce that? Brussels? Bruxelles? That is a really cool name. I don't know how to pronounce it, though. What does the Ascendant Order want?
They're malcontents. They go on about how the high and mighty misuse their power by squabbling over the Ruby Throne. It started out small enough, defying authority, inciting riots, petty sabotage. But now they're hurting people.
Yeah, I knew it was... Okay, so it's Brussels. I'll figure it out. That's cool, though. I was closer the first time with my first guess. Thanks for the information.
Something else, newcomer? I'd like to get back to my drink.
You say the Ascendant Order is causing trouble. Can't the Guard stop them?
Ordinary bandits, the Sisters Guard can handle. But when we send enough guards to meet a company of Ascendant Order ravagers, these faceless knights just melt away. And if we don't send enough guards, then our guards don't come back.
Why do you call them faceless?
Might as well be. Most knights proudly display their emblems. They wear the colors of their house and paint family crests on their shields. These Ascendant Order Knights never remove their helms and bear no devices. They could be anybody.
Goodbye. The whole Guinness tourist trap thing is a total scam, by the way. I don't recommend. Guinness isn't even nice. I've had a handful... Guinness is not my drink of choice. You know, I live in Michigan, as I've mentioned a couple times on stream. And we have a brewery in Michigan called Founders. It's in Grand Rapids. and I've been to Founders Brewery. I've seen a tour of their facility. I'm not a big fan of Founders, though, despite being from Michigan. It's not really, like... It's not a beer that I enjoy. They have a lot of IPAs, and I'm not a huge IPA guy.
Good. You found my field office. I thought I'd keep an eye on the log while awaiting your report. My own investigations have turned up little about our missing ships. Tell me, did you uncover anything useful? Did the lighthouse keeper spot them?
After rogue knights darkened the beacon, the keeper spotted 3 ships before the storm rolled in.
Darkened the beacon? The locals revere that light. Who would dare offend Kinnereth in such a way? Something is indeed wrong here. At least our missing ships reached these waters, but this storm worries me. Tell me more about the rogue knights.
They're known as the Ascendant Order. The inn's patrons said they attacked caravans inland.
The Ascendant Order? Here? I heard rumors of knights troubling folk outside of town, but I had no idea they were the culprits. I've had dealings with the Order before. This doesn't bode well. Tell me, did you learn anything at the Shallows?
Someone called the Ascendant Magus recruited salvagers to capture shipwreck survivors.
It seems the Ascendant Order knew the ships would be wrecked, and they helped make sure by extinguishing the lighthouse beacon. They knew my cargo was coming to High Isle. This means the Fighters Guild and Mages Guild delegates are in danger too.
Oh, we're getting the Fighters and Mages Guild involved in this again, huh? Wait, what does your missing cargo have to do with the delegates?
Ah, you caught that, did you? My missing cargo is more delegates for the conference. Perhaps the most important ones. But I need you to check on the guild delegates right now. They went to visit a druid named Ravana. Her hut lies to the west.
You know the Ascendant Order. What else can you tell me about them?
The Ascendant Order models itself after other knightly orders, but they're nothing but terrorists. They claim to stand against those who would subjugate the nations of Tamriel under Imperial rule, but I suspect they plan to take power for themselves.
Are they a serious threat?
They are well-funded and have a strong presence on the mainland. They proclaim a powerful message about greedy rulers and costly wars, but it's mostly rhetoric. Not that the common folk see that. Our conference makes a tempting target, I'm sure.
Tell me about the guild representatives.
Valencia of the Mages Guild is a dear friend. We shared a few adventures when she was starting out, and I called upon her when I needed help with a conference. She enchanted the invitation medallions the delegates require to attend the conference.
And what about the Fighters Guild delegate?
I only met Guild General Quentin when he arrived. He seems to have a good head on his shoulders, but the war has cost him dearly. He lost his wife in a raid. I understand why the Fighters Guild chose to send him to the conference.
Okay, who was this druid the guild representatives went to visit?
Her name is Ravana. She's something of a local apothecary. She uses her skill with herbs and healing to help the folk of High Isle. With the conference delayed, Valencia was curious about druidic magic, so off she went. Quentin decided to tag along.
Okay. Guinness is good when you're drunk and can't taste anything. Guinness is fine. I don't have a particular issue with it, but it's fine. Actual Irish version of Guinness is called Murphy's Country or County Cork. Cool. I'll have to add that to the list. Please bring back and actually flesh out nightly orders, Bethesda, I beg. I'm hoping... Here's the thing. I have very low expectations for Elder Scrolls 6. Personally, I don't know if the whole Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be all of the Iliac Bay, but I have been saying for quite a while that I would like the game to just be in Hammerfell, and I feel good about the game being called Elder Scrolls Sentinel. The reason that I want it to just be in Hammerfell is because Bethesda can barely handle one province. I don't think giving them the Bretons and the Redguards to mess up both of their lore is a good idea. I'd rather them just focus on one province. A less cynical reason that I want it to just be in Hammerfell is because I think that Hammerfell is rich with lore. So I think that the Great War stuff with Hammerfell having abandoned the Empire is a super neat thing to follow up on. I've been saying the exact same thing. Hell yeah. I think that Hammerfell is rich with lore, though. The Great War, Hammerfell would have some great stories about them fighting off against the Thalmor, or fighting off against the Aldmeri Dominion to save their land. Back in more of like Hagaeth and Tanith, that area would be super cool to explore. I would love to see the regions, like, because look. Look at all this, man. This has got to be Elder Scrolls 6. Like, there's no fucking way. I don't... If they were to include a game that was the Iliac Bay and all of this, that'd be fucking cool. But I don't think that's what they're going to do. I really would just like to see Hammerfell fleshed out more in an actual Elder Scrolls game. Because, to be totally honest, the Hammerfell stuff in ESO is actually pretty good. I mean, like, it's actually pretty good. I'm shrugging and holding my hands up right now. Like the Neil deGrasse Tyson, we got a badass over here. It's actually pretty good. The Alakir Desert is fine. Bankarai's fine. But the Craglorn story is actually interesting. And the Hughes Bane stuff is actually interesting too. So that leaves this whole area here rich for Elder Scrolls 6 material. If they could do it, where they do the Iliac Bay and all this, and this big zone here, I'd be thrilled. But I'm really interested to see, like, we might find out what happened to Sadia. Yeah, I agree. I think that's a really cool plot line that's actually been left open for 15 years now. That could use some follow-up on. I think this area right here, though, is super cool, where the Westweald meets Hammerfell here. Super cool. I can't remember if it's Hagaeth or Tanith that's, like, right on the border here. But I would love to see how that Imperial culture mixes with the Redguard culture in that area. I'd love to see more... Like, if we're in Hammerfell, I would love to see more of the Brittonic knightly stuff, specifically in the more Alakir Desert region. Would be really cool to see how the Bretons and the Redguards culture kind of mixes back and forth, because they would obviously have a lot of trade there. And then we would have like some of the Craglorn stuff potentially. What the fuck is up with the giant space between Colovia and Hammerfell on the map? Yeah, there's a huge space there. Huge space. But I think that... What are the odds they forget about Sadia? Also very high. But I do think... we saw Hammerfell in the best test game of all time, Shadowkey. Any attempt to flesh it out from there will fail. I'm in a big... recently I've been in a big sharing mood for some of me and my fellow content creators. So let me just look up... see if he ever made a video on this. I don't know that he ever did make a video on this, but I will plug my buddy's channel here really quick. Thin White Duke, he was a big guy in at the end of Elder Scrolls Legends lifetime. He started making some videos and whatnot, so if you're into the card game at all, you could go give him a view. But, yes, Shadowkey, best game. You mean in the water? The space is not there in the normal maps? Oh, this spot here? I think that spot has to do... Yeah, in the regular maps you are correct. That is, like, this little spot here is not like that. In Oblivion it's much more... straight, I guess. I beg that Bethesda doesn't just forget about the Cult of Sodakal. They need a role in some way. Well, they're probably gonna get... If we're being totally honest, The Red Guards are probably going to get their lore bastardized because Bethesda can't seem to have a have consistency in any of their interpretations. Doesn't mean that we have to be happy about it, but it is something that we should prepare for. If they don't do that, like, here's another thing that I want to say. I shit on Bethesda a lot, and I think it's deserved a lot of the time. If they do stuff where I don't have to shit on them, I will be happy. I kind of enjoy shitting on them. But if I don't have to shit on them, I won't, you know? If you do good things, I will make a good video about you. If you do bad Sheogorath quest, I will make scathing review of said Sheogorath quest. That's the thing. Make good content, people will have good response to it, Bethesda. And ZeniMax and Microsoft and Xbox and everything.
Greetings, traveler. Is there something I can do for you? Do you need a poultice or perhaps an herbal tea?
I'm looking for Guildmaster Valesia and Guild General Quentin.
Ah,
Make
yes.
good video,
The
Bethelia.
curious
No.
mage and the stern warrior. They stopped by. When I mentioned that rogue knights had been making the countryside dangerous, they decided to investigate. I told them where I'd last seen the knights, and they set out at once.
Where did you send them?
A clearing to the southwest. I'll mark the spot on your map. I saw a band of the
I
knights
gotta show you
gathering
guys
there
something.
the last time I went out to gather herbs. They forced me to retreat without them. I warned Valesia and Quentin it might be dangerous.
Are druids common on High Isle?
Oh, you'll find druids throughout the Sisters Archipelago. Not too many on the mainland, though. Long ago, we druids left Tamriel and its troubles behind us. But here, our ancient ways survived.
Why did druids leave the mainland?
Our forebears among the Bretons believed civilization should live alongside nature, not tame it. In the early years of the Direni hegemony, they struggled for the soul of High Rock.
What happened?
They lost. Driven into exile, the Druids left to seek a place where they could live according to their beliefs. Their wanderings brought them to the Sisters. The followers of the Weird remained behind. They walked a different path than the Druids.
What exactly is a druid?
We follow the old ways. Some call us priests of Ifre, but that is only part of our truth. We are children of the land, like the Weird, guides and teachers to those who live in harmony with nature. People were not meant to bow before crowns of metal.
That's a cool line. People were not meant to bow before crowns of metal. That's a cool line. What does that mean?
Our people, the Breton people, went astray when they forgot the ways of nature. Stone walls and empty titles separate folk from the true way. We help them remember what their ancestors once knew. Some circles see it differently, of course.
Circles? What are they?
Circles are fellowships of like-minded druids. Each interprets Ifre's will differently, but druids of the same circle share common traditions and goals. I belong to the Stonelore Circle. We seek to teach others by the example of our work.
Are there other circles in the Sisters Archipelago?
Yes. Travel far enough in the archipelago and you may meet druids of the Eldertide or Firesong circles. Although the Firesong rarely leave their island, and you should be wary of the Eldertide. They do not like city folk or mainlanders.
Cool. Who are the followers of the Weird?
The Weird are Breton witches. They follow teachings and practices that share a common ancestry with the Druids. Whereas we left the mainland, they remained behind to safeguard the forests of High Rock.
Any other differences?
We have more in common than we have differences. The biggest that you would notice is that the Weirds are all female, while we Druids accept all genders in our ranks. And we organize in circles of common beliefs, while the Weird Sisters form covens.
Fair enough. I'm sure that a lot of you guys are aware of who Kotho is, another content creator. He's had a theory for a while that the Elder Scrolls Online developers are a lot of people who wanted to write for like D&D and got rejected, and now they're here. And I am getting a big vibe of that from them putting druids into Elder Scrolls with this, but I'm also here for it. If it is in Hammerfell, then I dread the potential drama over it being woke, because the majority of characters would likely be fantasy North Africans. Yeah, I actually hadn't thought of that, but there could be some serious stupid drama about that. Why is this guy steaming? Oh. I like the druidic stuff in Tess. Should be more with Reachmen and Bretons. Yeah, I mean, they are with Bretons here.
Over here. I could use some help.
This is the high elf we saw earlier behind... what's her name?
You're the one Lady Arabelle spoke to at the docks, aren't you? You volunteered to help investigate the ships that failed to reach port. It's good to see a friendly face, especially after what just happened.
Tell me what happened.
Guild General Quentin accompanied me to visit Druid Ravana. When she told us about rogue knights in the area, Quentin was eager to investigate. It was the Ascendant Order. They overpowered Quentin and knocked me senseless. They captured Quentin.
What? Was Guild General Quentin injured?
I don't think so. The Ascendant Order was definitely trying to take us alive. That's the only reason I had the opportunity to throw up a shroud spell and avoid being captured myself. Did you come out here to find us?
Lady Arabelle sent me to warn you that the Ascendant Order was targeting conference delegates.
And Ravana told you where to find us. Good. Now, we must rescue Quentin. I may have a way to find where the Ascendant Order took him, but we should get to safety first. Meet me back at Druid Ravana's hut.
Do you think the Ascendant Order followed you out here?
No. We came upon them just as they were finishing an attack on a caravan. But I assume they recognized us or decided our station warranted capture rather than elimination. But you came with a warning, didn't you? What did you find out?
Well, the Ascendant Order sabotaged the lighthouse. We think they may have wrecked Lady Arabelle's ships.
Wrecked the ships? How in oblivion could they coordinate such a thing? Clearly, the Ascendant Order is aware of the plans for Lord Baccaro's conference. They're here in force and causing more trouble than we anticipated.
Any idea why they wanted to capture you instead of just kill you?
If they recognized us as delegates, there's all sorts of ways they could hold that over the conference. If they just assume we're rich nobles, ransom is always an option. But who can really say what those helmeted bastards are thinking?
What do you know about the Ascendant Order?
Lady Arabelle and I had dealt with them on the mainland. The Order tried to stop the conference by striking at delegates before they even left Tamriel. We stopped them, but not before the previous guild delegate was killed. Then they appointed me.
What were you and Guild General Quentin doing out here?
I came to talk to Ravana about arcane and related topics, and Quentin decided to tag along. When Ravana told us about rogue knights, I feared it might be the Ascendant Order. Quentin wanted to investigate. Turned out I was right.
Do you think the Ascendant Order followed you out here?
No. We came upon them just as they were finishing an attack on a caravan. But I assume they recognized us or decided our station warranted capture rather than elimination. But you came with a warning, didn't you? What did you find out?
Oh, we're just going in circles. Holy shit. I didn't even realize. Okay. I think your theory about Elder Scrolls getting failed D&D Wizards of the Coast writers might be accurate. Well, it's not my theory. It's Kotho's theory. I will say that. But yes, I do think that it has some legs to stand on. Especially after playing this. I've seen Instagram about Bethesda employees protesting the layoffs, and because it's Insta, all the comments are like, well, you should have made more games, as if they decided to make Starfield, not Todd. Well, and again, did Todd decide to make Starfield and then everybody had to go with it? Like, is Todd the king of Bethesda Game Studios like that? Does he hold truly that much power? Is like a question that I've always had. I'm like, I don't know the power structure of Bethesda Game Studios. You did remind me with Instagram, though. I do need to show you guys something that I saw earlier today. Let's go to Instagram. I should maybe make a Dareloth Instagram account at some point. No. Okay. Now go to Bethesda. Sorry, there is a black screen. I just need to make sure that I am not doxing myself here. Where did I see this? Sorry, give me a second here. Bethesda. Oh, dude, it had to be Bethesda's Instagram account I was looking at this on. Dareloth hates his fans. He won't even dox himself for us. True. Maybe it's like in my... Oh, we'll go here. Your activity... This is what I was looking for. Okay. God, I do need to make a Dareloth profile here. Okay, I can't show you guys this because my Instagram account has my face in it. And again, I can't. But maybe I could do, like, send you the link. I don't know. If you go to Bethesda's stuff, they posted something a day ago it was just cringe. I'm sure we'll talk about it at some point. Sorry, that was a bit of a derail. I should make a Dareloth Instagram so I can share their horribly cringy things they post. No face reveal? Not today. I'm not gonna say just use your face and put the gray fox mask so we never connect the dots. Yes. I will say, especially with me doing YouTube full-time, a face reveal is not off the table, but I think I would have to have... I'd have to have a pretty good reason to do so.
I understand, Valencia. Do what you must to find your friend.
I owe you a debt of gratitude for coming to my aid. It seems once again that Lady Arabelle chose well. Now to see if I can find Guild General Quentin, and by extension, the rogue knights who carried him away.
How can you track Guild General Quentin?
I enchanted the invitation medallions that each delegate carries, so I can trace my own magic to locate Quentin. Now let me see. They moved north and east, across the loch. I see a chapel, crypts, maybe abandoned? No question. Quentin is there.
D&D lore is unironically more coherent and consistent than Tess. So, I wouldn't disagree with that. Mr. Rex. This, you know what? We are in a big sharing mood today. Let me go find Mr. Rex. Maybe some of you guys know this guy. Maybe you don't. But Mr. Rex used to do Skyrim videos and Elder Scrolls videos. And he is almost at 1 million subscribers. What the hell? That's crazy. He does mostly D&D now. But he used to do Elder Scrolls videos. Yeah, wow, he changed his entire channel to be D&D based. But if you scroll back far enough, go to his most popular videos, they're all Skyrim videos and one Resident Evil video. So, bro used to be in the Elder Scrolls sphere. Now he does D&D. Watched Mr. Rex when I was a wee lad, as did I. Bro's got a ton of videos.
I owe you a debt of gratitude for coming to my aid. It seems once again that Lady Arabelle chose well. Now to see if I can find Guild General Quentin, and by extension, the rogue knights who carried him away. I owe you a debt of gratitude for coming to my aid. It seems once again that Lady Arabelle chose well. Now to see if I can find Guild General Quentin, and by extension, the rogue knights who carried him away.
Okay, how can you track Guild General Quentin?
I enchanted the invitation medallions that each delegate carries, so I can trace my own magic to locate Quentin. Now let me see. They moved north and east, across the loch. I see a chapel, crypts, maybe abandoned? No question. Quentin is there.
If all of the delegates have a medallion, can you use them to find the missing ships?
Lady Arabelle asked me to try as soon as we realized the ships were late. I wasn't able to make a connection with those medallions. Maybe they were too far away, or some other magic interfered with my scrying, but I wasn't able to detect anything.
Should we head directly to the abandoned crypts you saw?
No, we need to return to Lady Arabelle and share this information. Then we can mount a rescue for Guild General Quentin. I'll meet you at Lady Arabelle's little pavilion. What she calls her field office, I believe.
I'll meet you there. Okay, I've seen people talking. I've seen real people in my comments section. I'm sorry if you're one of them. But I've seen real people talking about how they like the DLC with Sheogorath because of this. Because of this rune gathering of the Mad God here. Now, you tell me, is this worth the Sheogorath questline here? Watch this animation real quick. Is that worth it? Because some people have been saying that. Been saying, well, I had fun with the questline. I really like the animation. Literally so worth. You know, I don't want to go pick on people, but there was a comment left a couple days ago, or maybe it was even today. And, oh wow, a JPEG. I hereby renounce my previous opinion. Yeah, I know.
That sounds like a Bane chapel, but only one medallion is there.
How many quests? Oh, dude, we're not even done with the first quest yet. We haven't even finished the first quest. I thought we were on at least the second.
Valencia apprised me of the situation. I believe I know the place where she thinks they're holding Quentin. It must be the crypts below a Bane chapel on the northern shore of the loch. Will you accompany us on this rescue mission, my dear?
Yes.
Smashing. This will be like that time I pulled General Gautier out of a Reach stronghold during the border raids of 566. Now that was an adventure.
That pissed me off.
Anyway, it's too bad Valencia couldn't scry the locations of the other missing delegates.
She hit me with a Nigel Thornberry smashing. And then she followed it up with one of the worst things ever. This is like in Star Wars Episode 2 when Anakin and Obi-Wan are in the elevator. And he's like, they're like, oh, this is just like that one time I did this. It's like Peter Griffin dialogue. Like, oh, Lois, this is just like that one time I pulled General Gautier out of a Reach stronghold during the border raids of 5066. Like, it's a Family Guy cutaway to explain, like, oh, this character's done some things in the past. You can't write like that. You cannot write like that. You can't do it. It should be illegal. You can't just say, this will be like that time I pulled General Gautier out of a Reach stronghold during the border raids of 566. Shut the fuck up. Mind if I ask you about the delegates that were aboard the missing ships?
I suppose you've earned the truth, and you certainly deserve my complete confidence. The 3 ships carried High King Emmerich, Queen Irene, and Prince Ernskar, son of Yoren the Skald King. I dare say I've misplaced the leaders of Tamriel.
What kind of conference is Lord Bacaro holding exactly?
I said you deserve the truth. Lord Bacaro invited the Alliance leaders here for peace talks. He hopes to end the Three Banners War. If we find Quentin with the Ascendant Order, we may find our missing royals. Meet me at the chapel north of the lock.
I'll meet you there.
We'll rendezvous at a Bane chapel on the north side of the lock. I've already sent an operative ahead to scout the area. Be prepared to defend yourself. The Ascendant Order won't give up Guild General Quentin without a fight.
Is this Guild General that important? Tell me about High King Emmerich, Queen Irene, and Prince Ernskar. Is this really... Come on, guy. Like, I'm not going to dock the quest for this, but man... How stupid do you think I am, Zenimax? Come on, dude. What if this is a trap?
Whatever the situation, I won't abandon Quentin to his fate. Oh, that's good. Let me write that down. Besides, we have to risk it. Both to save Quentin and to see if we can learn anything about the missing Alliance leaders.
You think the Alliance leaders might also be there?
We know their medallions aren't there, but they could have lost them at sea. Regardless, if the Ascendant Order uses the chapel as a hideout, we may learn something about their plans. Or a clue as to where to search for the Alliance leaders, perhaps.
Okay, tell me more about High King Emmerich, Queen Irene, and Prince Ernskar.
Not a student of politics, my dear. I understand completely. They're the leaders of the Alliances vying for the Ruby Throne. Well, Irene and Emmerich lead 2 of the Alliances. Ernskar is the son of Yoren the Skald King, who leads the 3rd.
What alliances? My brother in Christ. This character... Okay, I'm sorry, man. This character, my guy right here, he is a member... Let me go to... Is it campaigns? I'm a member of the Daggerfall Covenant, bro. I know what the alliances are. Come on, man. you can't be doing this to me. Oh my god. Like, I get this. It's what I said in my Sheogorath video. They write these quest lines for people who aren't paying attention, or for people who haven't been able to pay attention in the past couple months, or maybe years. Maybe they're writing this for people who haven't been on ESO in years and have just logged on to play the new High Isle expansion. I don't know, but they're writing it for people who are not paying attention. I wish we could have seen the early renditions of the Breton mages who alter their physiology and mutate themselves, but then someone had to go and just make them French. Yeah, the Bretons really are quite boring. My buddy who's playing his first Skyrim playthrough, he's also he's playing a wild magic sorcerer in my D&D campaign. And he chose to play as a Breton, because the Bretons have good stats for spellcasters. But also, I was like, yeah, the Bretons, like, it's been kind of funny because he's like, oh, like, what should I know about the Bretons? And I'm like, well, they're kind of boring. I hate the idea that the player should never be left not knowing something and that everything has to be explained to them. Makes the game extremely tedious. Yeah.
There. It's open. Got any more locks you need picked? How about you, Valencia?
I think not, thank you.
Now's not the time, Jakan. Let's see what awaits us down in the crypts.
I also really don't like Jakarn, man. This character that's just like the hot guy that makes pervy comments on people. I hate that archetype so much. Long load screen. Okay. The only hot guy that I like is Darien. You know what? And that's fair. We all like Darien here. The thing is, Darien is actually a pretty good, he's a pretty good character, I would say. He's not perfect, but he's pretty good. The Ascendant Proclamation. Take heart, peoples of Tamriel. The hour of your salvation is at hand. If you but have the courage to seize it. We are the Ascendant Order, Knights of the People, fighting on behalf of the common folk of all lands. Our enemies are those who seek to keep you in bondage, who hoard power and authority in all lands. We bring you the means to rise up against those who rule over you, so that you can rule yourselves. You did not ask for this Three Banners War. It is a war started by kings and queens who are not satisfied with the lands they already control. The peaceful people of Tamriel suffer and die for their greed. You are doomed to water noble ambitions with your blood until you stand up and say, "This must stop." Only one path to peace and prosperity for all exists. We must overthrow the corrupt governments in all of Tamriel's nations. What harm have the people of High Rock done to the Argonians? What grievance do the Red Guards hold against the Dark Elves? None and none. Why should you fight so that some greedy monarch can subjugate new lands and peoples? Stand with us, the Ascendant Order, and we can put an end to the kings and queens who care not whether you live or die. Join us, and together we can change the world. Death to empires.
Ascendant Order propaganda. Don't be taken in. They are not as benevolent as they want you to think. No sign of Quentin yet, though. We should keep going.
I'll say that propaganda kind of worked on me. I liked it. But I can't wait until we have a, what is it? An EJBM? Evil Jeff Bridges moment? Okay, another note. As per the Ascendant Magus's instructions, an accounting of the prisoners currently in our custody. Colleen, captain of the Spearhead. Tsuzo, captain of Kamal's Bane. Zaji, captain of the Perfect Pounce. Guild General Quentin, Fighters Guild delegate. So, I don't remember Tsuzo, but I do know Captain Colleen is a Daggerfall Covenant character, and Zaji is a Elder Scrolls Online Elsewhere chapter character. Question the captains about what befell their passengers when they wrecked, they likely know when Irene, Emmerich, and Ernskar abandoned ship. The crypts south of the large burial chambers should prove suitable as a temporary prison. Keep the captains alive until we are sure they are of no more use. Execute any other captives. If they cannot tell us where the delegates are, they are only security risks. So Tsuzo is probably Ebonheart, and then that would leave just Zaji as Aldmeri and Colleen as Daggerfall. Interesting.
The Ascendant Order has the captains of our missing ships. But where are the Alliance leaders? First things first. Clear the path to the South Crypts, please. We must rescue the captains and hope they're quite... Colleen, Zaji, Zuzo. Thank the Divines you're all right. But where are the delegates?
Apologies, my lady. We lost our charges.
Zaji is not all right.
Not to spoil a reunion, but we're about to get company.
Jakarn, free the captains. Friend, keep the Ascendant Order at bay. Buy us some time.
Okay, obligated Elder Scrolls Online mission where we protect someone and fight some bandits. Gonna start calling Bethesda Chat BGS. It's really funny because I know this is very naive, but when Bethesda first got bought out by Microsoft, I thought it would potentially be good for them to have like someone that's looking over their shoulder and be like, "Hey,
stupid thing.
Let's get some quality control in here."
Got it.
Collect Valencia and get the captain.
But that is not what happened.
We'll find Quentin.
The Knights took Quentin away not long ago. I think they're questioning him now.
Then we must hurry. Come, my friend.
But I really did think that Microsoft was going to try to make Bethesda clean up their act a little bit, and that just didn't happen. When the oversight is even worse, yeah.
Down there. It's Quentin. Let's listen and try to figure out what's going on.
Okay.
A new age of peace is upon us.
Ooh, cool voice acting.
An age of free peoples, standing together, not kneeling to distant thrones.
This is not your war, General. What say you?
The war took everything from me. I am with you. How can I help?
The Order is trying to recruit Quentin? We have to put a stop to this.
Okay, the war took everything from him. I do have to say, man, like, this DLC so far, we're not even out of the first quest yet, but I'm already, like, this is okay, you know? It's not... He's just annihilated that rat, yeah. This DLC is not bad so far. It's fine. I have not had a bad time at all with anything. I think the worst you can say so far is it's a little generic, but it's fine.
Each delegate carries a medallion like this one, Magus. It serves as both an invitation and a key.
Keep it. We may need your access later. Right now, I want you to kill the meddling investigator nipping at our heels.
Lady Arabelle? But she's...
No longer working alone. She's found some capable help. Deal with them.
Oh, Quentin. I guess you've made your choice.
Alright. Well, we're gonna kill Quentin. What character is Dareloth playing? I am playing a stamina sorcerer. So, in Elder Scrolls Online, because some people might not know, I'll just give a quick little rundown. You have points you can put into Magicka, Health, and Stamina. I have all 64 of my points into Stamina, and I use Stamina-based abilities for my character. So, I am what's called a Stamina Sorcerer. Most of my abilities here are Stamina-based abilities, with the occasional Magicka one flossed in there. So, I have a two-handed build, and I mostly use abilities from the two-handed skill tree on this build. This is a build that I saw a while ago. Someone else came up with it. I have copied it, and it is very, very effective. And my little fun lore for this character is that I am the great-great-great-great-great-grandfather of Urag Groshrub. But that's my own fan canon lore for this character. So basically, I'm a battle mage. Okay, Quentin.
Here is your chance, Quentin. Stop these fools and strike a blow for the people.
I'm sorry, Lady Arabelle, but I have made my choice.
For the Ascendant
Do
Order!
what we must. We can't allow the General to stop us. I'm sorry it came to that, but well thought, my friend. Let's speak outside.
Okay, let's speak outside. The classic Elder Scrolls Online trope. Did I hear Urag grow shrub? Yes, you did.
I didn't expect Guild General Quentin to turn on us, and I certainly didn't desire his death. It seems sympathy for the Ascendant Order is more widespread than I knew. We must be cautious, particularly with whom we choose to trust going forward.
Do you think some of the others may turn on us?
Do I expect it? No. But that doesn't mean we should let our guard down. This venture wasn't a complete failure, though. We rescued the captains of our missing ships. We need to find out what happened at sea and what befell the Alliance leaders.
Where did Jakarn and Valencia take the captains?
To Mandrake Manor, my home in Gonfalon Bay. I'll mark it on your map. Jakarn, Valencia, and I have been using my townhouse as a base of operations. I'm confident that it is as safe from the Ascended Order as any other location we might choose.
Why is it called Mandrake Manor? Why is that the only follow-up we can ask her?
Oh, the name comes from a book I'm rather fond of. I bought the manor to serve as my home in retirement, and I keep a few mementos of my career there. Meet me there, my dear, and we'll see what our rescued captains have to say about all this.
I'll meet you in Gonfalon Bay. This quest, by the way, I know the stream's been going on for an hour 50. That is not how long I've been playing this, because we had a little bit of an interlude with me starting it, but let's say we've been playing this DLC for about, I'll say an hour 30, and we're still on the first quest. Now, I've been stopping and talking and, you know, trying to be a decent streamer, but this is a very long first quest. I don't think I like this Arabelle lady. I've enjoyed her so far. I haven't had a problem with her. Okay, let's see if we can take the ESO highway. ESO highway. There we go.
Get away from me, stupid thing! Is it gone?
Alrighty.
Ah, there you are. Go inside and talk to Captain Colleen. Find out what happened at sea. I need a moment to collect my thoughts.
Alright. It's interesting they brought back Colleen. I don't know this. I'm gonna do a quick Google search. And I'm gonna see who is, what is his name? Suzo? Suzo. Okay. ESO. So, where are you at, my friend? Okay, this is a new character. Doesn't appear that he is in any other content other than this DLC. So they invented a new character for this, but Colleen is a reused character and Zaji is a reused character. I guess they probably felt like Naryu would not be a good representative for the Ebonheart Pact here. I'm also not going to talk to Zaji or this Suzo guy. I don't feel particularly like talking to them.
Funny. First time we met, you were the one fished out of the water. Now look at us. I owe you a great debt. And I owe Dockmaster Arnold a debt of a different kind. I visit High Isle often, and I thought he was a friend. Bah.
Can you tell me what happened out at sea and how you wound up in the crypts?
An armored mage and a gang of ruffians were waiting at the shallows. They clubbed down all who made it ashore. Dockmaster Arnold showed up, and I thought we were saved. But the mage, a Brent noble by his voice, paid him to walk away and leave.
So the Dockmaster. Back up. What happened before you washed ashore?
We were nearing landfall when a huge storm swept out of nowhere. I looked for the light at Gonfalon Head, but the lighthouse was dark. We were blown off course, crashed upon some rocks. I lost sight of High King Emmerich, but somehow made it to shore.
Do you know where High King Emmerich and the other leaders are now?
I'm not sure. I didn't see any of the royals when I waded ashore, and I was the last one from my ship to make it to the beach. The tide turned as I swam in, and no one was washed up after me. I'm afraid you won't find the High King at the shallows.
Colleen's outfit is nice, I agree.
Over here, dear. We have much to do. I adore this view. Isn't the Colossus a wondrous sight? Still, gazing upon it does nothing to quell my anxiety. Somehow the Ascendant Order learned not only about our secret peace talks, but that the Alliance leaders were going to attend.
She sounds like Anjali Bhimani, yeah? A little bit. I don't think it's actually her, but she sounds a little bit like her. I adore this view. Isn't the Colossus a wondrous sight? Yeah, I think this shot was probably meant to be... Yeah, now I can see it better, actually.
I adore this view. Isn't the Colossus a wondrous sight? Still, gazing upon it does nothing to quell my anxiety. Somehow the Ascendant Order learned not only about our secret peace talks, but that the Alliance leaders were going to attend.
At least they don't have Emmerich, Irene, or Prince Ernstgar yet.
And neither do we. We're not even sure they're still alive, but we must hope. Your help has been invaluable thus far, my dear, and you've earned every piece of gold in this pouch. We'll find the Alliance leaders and unmask the Order. We have to.
Okay.
Just as the Colossus watches over Gonfalon Bay, I was supposed to keep the Alliance leaders safe. I failed in that, but at least they aren't in the Ascendant Order's hands. Not yet, anyway. What did Captain Colleen and the others have to say, dear?
Well, the captains believe the Order's leaders are Breton nobles, and the delegates didn't wash ashore.
Breton nobles? Yes. We heard that as well when the Ascendant Lord and the Magus were speaking in the crypts. That's something to go on. And if the Alliance leaders didn't end up in the shallows, we'll need to look elsewhere. What else, dear?
Captain Colleen saw the Dockmaster accept gold from the Magus when they captured her.
Well, that's a lead we can investigate. I'd like to have a chat with Dockmaster Arnold about that and a great many other things. I detest being lied to, and he did it with such conviction. You're still on retainer, dear. Would you care to join me?
I'll help you interrogate Dockmaster Arnold.
The Dockmaster's home overlooks the harbor to the west. Jakan and I will meet you there. First Quentin, now this. I hardly know who to trust. Times like these, I take a moment to contemplate the Colossus in the harbor. It helps clear my thoughts.
Tell me about the Colossus in the harbor.
That's one of the wonders of the archipelago, dear. The locals are very proud of their statue, even if few of them know the real story behind who it represents. I like it as well. One of the reasons I bought the manor. Such a spectacular view.
Who does it represent?
The Colossus of Gonfalon Bay is Baron Admiral Bendu Olo, though most on the mainland would know him as the Colovian King of Anvil. He formed the All Flags Navy around 2260 in the First Era to gain vengeance against the Slode for the Thracian Plague.
The All Flags Navy?
The largest allied naval force in Tamrielic history. Ships from every nation and province participated, and many of the vessels were built right here on High Isle. The fleet launched from here and rained destruction upon Thras for their treachery.
And what does this have to do with finding the missing Alliance leaders?
Nothing, my dear, but you asked. Lord Bakara selected High Isle for the peace talks because of that history, though. The All Flags Navy recalls a time when disparate people united in common cause. He hopes to inspire the delegates to do the same.
Cool. I do kind of like that. Is Jakarn a repeated character through the DLCs? Jakarn is in the first DLC. Okay. Jakarn is in the first DLC and this DLC. I don't think he makes his way into any of the other ones. But you do have some repeated characters, like Vardenfell brought in Naryuvirian. She's in Vardenfell, and she is in the Gold Coast. And Razumdar is in Gold Coast and in Somerset. Vanis Galarian is in Main Quest and in Solstice. Trying to think of other people. Darian Gautier is in Main Quest, and, well, not Main Quest, but base game in Somerset. I guess he can work his way into the Main Quest, but they've been reusing characters for a while. Kirith and Raynor, they made their way into Clockwork City, despite being like Dwemer Ruin people. Throughout the base game, they made their way into the Clockwork City DLC. I can't remember anyone stand out from the Deadlands or Fargrave, but there might be someone. Might be someone who sticks out. Yeah, just can't remember. Ivea also, by the way. Ooh, I haven't thought about this. I think Ivea used to exist on the map around Galen and Ephelon. Like right around there. Oh, you still haven't played Solstice? No, I played Solstice. I've played Solstice. Trust me. I did that one. It was a pretty big wet fart. Worm blood. That's all I have to say. No, I do. I have a playthrough on my channel of me playing through Solstice. I think it took us... It was one very long stream, I think, to beat Solstice. Or maybe it was 2. I did Greymoor in one day. Greymoor and Markarth I did in one day. I think it was 10 hours total for that. Also want to say my mount is finished on this character, but I can't fully remember. Yep. Okay. Mount is done. I do, so far, I've got a positive opinion of High Isle. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's fine. Okay, I'm confused as to where Dockmaster Arnold's house is. Because I don't think they gave me exact directions to it. I'll check out your Solstice stream then. I have some pretty conflicting opinions about that DLC, so I'd like to see what other test creators thought of it. I really didn't think it was good. I think... Here. For everybody in right now. So I think it was after the Greymoor stream we did that ranking, but... Bendu Olo is definitely a cool mention for an ESO DLC. I agree. Okay. This, if I go to here, here. So this is what I would rank every single... This is where I would rank every single DLC. High Isle and Fire Song, I have never played before. There's a recurring bit in this video that I am just shitting on them for no reason. I have not played them, but this is my list. If you take High Isle and Fire Song off, this is my list of where I think everything falls. I might even move Elsewhere up to A tier, but I haven't played Elsewhere in forever, so take that with a grain of salt. But I think Solstice was dog shit. You had Orsinium, Clockwork, Murkmire, and Markarth were all really good. I really like the Imperial City, Dark Brotherhood, Thieves Guild, and Morrowind. I think they're also all really good. Base game, Elsewhere, and Dragonhold I would recommend to people. Somerset and Deadlands are where you start getting to, like... I had some issues with these, but they're fine. And then, yeah, Greymoor, Blackwood, and Solstice, I'm like... I would not recommend these to anybody, and Necrom and Gold Road fucking suck. That's what the F stands for. So, Elsewhere was the last ESO DLC I bought. Didn't care for it. I think Elsewhere was pretty good, but I might have to replay it on stream. I've actually never streamed Elsewhere before. I've never streamed a lot of these. The only ones that I've streamed are... I have streamed... I think I streamed Somerset once. I believe I did once. Way back. And then Clockwork I've streamed. Markarth and Greymoor I've streamed. Orsinium I streamed. I think that's it though. I don't... maybe... Oh, Gold Road and Necrom I streamed, for sure. I for sure streamed those. Solstice I streamed... but yeah, I've not actually streamed Blackwood or Deadlands. I don't believe. I did those on my own time. I was a smaller content creator. I actually streamed those for my Mehrunes Dagon video, and I was like, man, that added nothing to the video whatsoever. It was a huge letdown. So, very sad. Okay, let me turn that off. And then Murkmire, probably the best one. I wouldn't disagree. Murkmire is so good. When are we getting an ESO chapter in Rhode Island? How long must they make the fans wait? Well, if we ever get an ESO chapter in Rhode Island, we'd have to address the Peter Griffin allegations. Fargrave, defo nod to Sigil. I don't know exactly what you mean by that, but... yeah, I'll just leave it there. I don't know exactly what you mean by that.
Place is a mess.
I imagine the Ascendant Order ruffians loitering outside had something to do with that. Let's look around.
ESO's failing us recently. When are we pivoting to test castles content? Okay, you guys are just making me alt-tab all the time here. I have an Elder Scrolls Castles video as well that not many people have seen that I will put in the chat. I made this video when the game came out. There you go. Video's in chat if anyone would like to watch it. But Elder Scrolls Castles sucks. Not much to it.
A few drops of dried blood. A scuffle, but not a murder.
Dockmaster Arnold, as per our arrangement, here is your payment for your continued assistance and discretion. It is imperative that you direct official attention away from salvage operations on High Isle until we have finished our work at the Shallows. You may find yourself tempted to look deeper into our business or see whatever we are willing to pay more for your silence. Or see whether we are willing to pay more for your silence. I must warn you that I strongly dislike renegotiating settled agreements after the fact. Stay away from the lock and content yourself with the handsome sum you have been paid, and all shall profit. The Ascendant Magus.
The Ascendant Magus did bribe the Dockmaster, just as Captain Colleen said.
Okay, I do feel obligated to tell you guys something that I believe I read somewhere. I'm pretty certain that that Bacaro guy that we met earlier is the Ascendant Magus. And that is only because I've not played this questline. I've just heard things because I'm in the community. And I'm pretty certain that he is the Ascendant Magus, or some important person that we meet later. You don't have to tell me, but some important person that we meet later is the Ascendant Magus. It's like someone that we've already met. It's not Jakarn, but it's someone like that we know. And that's supposed to be like a plot twist later. So I remember hearing that, but I don't know. I don't know if you've ever considered this, but Dareloth, do you think the Slowed are even responsible for the Thracian plague? I have a suspicion they legit had nothing to do with it. I don't know. I really would need to look more into the Thracian plague, because there's a lot of test content that I'm like familiar with, but I'm not 100 on. How's it going, Duke? I'm so glad I got early access to castles. I could give up on the game before it even came out. I remember talking with you about that, bro. I remember talking with you about how you got into castles for early access content. That's insane. I did plug your channel
Someone
earlier, by
planning
the
to
way.
depart doesn't set a meal on the table. I think I have
We
a
were talking
picture of
about,
what transpired here. Let's talk, my dear.
We were talking about Elder Scrolls Shadowkey, and it made me think of you. So I sent a link for your channel.
Nothing packed, food left on the table, and signs of a recent scuffle. I think it's safe to say Dockmaster Arnaud found that his Ascendant Order friends weren't entirely satisfied with their arrangement. They've obviously spirited him away.
Why would the Ascendant Order kidnap Dockmaster Arnaud when they'd already bribed him?
The Dockmaster ignored the wishes of the Ascendant Magus. Captain Colleen saw Arnaud collect another payment at the lock. I suspect he got greedy, and once he proved he wouldn't stay bribed, well, he became a liability.
It was complete shit from a punt from the word go. Appreciate it. I haven't uploaded in ages. I know you haven't uploaded in a while, but I still was like, hey, I'm going to give it a recommendation. Because, Duke, did you ever make a video out of Shadowkey? Because I feel like you had a lot of Shadowkey. Like, I know you at least streamed Shadowkey, but I don't know if you ever made a video out of it. I got early access to Blades, I think. They approved me even after I told them what phone I had. When I tried to download the game, it said my phone wasn't supported. That's the most Bethesda thing of all time. Yeah, man, I was signed up for early access to Blades, and it's been what, 7 years since 2019, I think, was when, or 2018, so maybe it's been 8 years. But yeah, I remember being very excited for Elder Scrolls Blades, and then they said it before Skyrim even, and I was like, well, I don't fucking care. I'm new to the channel. How do you guys play ESO? I play ESO on PC. I play it for mostly the story content, and then sometimes I will go on like a month or two long binge of ESO and play it like an MMO. But other than that, I'm mostly here for the story stuff. Haven't gotten around to it yet. Was going to do a video on all those shitty mobile games like Dawnstar, etc. Hey man, I think the market is still open for that. Also, you'll have to DM me privately and we can talk about like, I've been in contact with Imperial Knowledge and we've been talking about doing, a little thing. So I'll send you a DM about it later, after stream. But anyway, let's continue on to the quest line at hand. Where do we go from here?
The Ascendant Order's throwing around a lot of coin on High Isle. If we follow the gold, we'll find someone with wealth and local influence behind this. Another clue that a High Isle noble is involved. Perhaps they want to keep the war going.
Why would anyone want to keep the war going?
Profit, of course. That's what it always comes down to. Lord Bacaro should be able to tell us which nobles stand to lose if the war ends. Go to Steadfast Manor, northwest of the city. I'll have Jakarn look for the Dockmaster and then meet you there.
Okay. I'm hoping the Blades revival ends up happening because I wanted to do a video on actually playing every test game, since a lot of videos that claim every test game just do the main 5 and ESO. Yeah, I think, I'm kind of happy that Blades got shut down, but also I do think that it sucks for, like, posterity's sake, you know? Like, I think that the fact that Legends got shut down was really bad, and, like, now that Legends has been shut down, we know the feeling of having our game shut down on us, and that does suck for anyone that actually did like Blades. How far are we into the story? We just started the second quest. I've been needing motivation to get back into tests recently. Yeah, that's totally fair. The editing software that I use is called... I don't use DaVinci Resolve, actually. That is... I believe Frostbreak uses DaVinci Resolve. But he does not edit a lot of his own videos anymore, as far as I'm aware. He has Artea edit his videos. I hope I'm not giving away any trade secrets for him. But Artea, who's another Elder Scrolls creator, she does a lot of ESO stuff. She edits for Frostbreak. And because I was talking with him, because like he's got double my subscribers at this point. It was like a couple months ago. Him and I were like around 50k. Like I hadn't hit 50k yet, but like he hadn't either. And then he like skyrocketed way far beyond where I was at. And I remember talking with him about like, hey dude, like what kind of editing software do you use? Do you have like what kind of mic do you use? And he was like, dude, just use DaVinci Resolve and I've got Artea edit for me. So that's his process. But yeah, for me, I use Filmora to get to the point of what I started talking about. I use Filmora. Filmora's okay. They've been pushing a lot of AI stuff recently.
You there. Can we speak for a moment?
And
I want to help, Lady Arabelle, but I'm concerned for the safety of my retainers.
My associate might be able to help in that regard, Lord Bacaro.
Okay. Filmora has been pushing a lot of men to Filmora for a few years, but you don't have to use any of the AI stuff on Filmora. The actual editing software I bought when I was like 18, and Filmora is the reason that I got into video editing in the first place, so I'm just familiar with the systems. I've tried to use DaVinci Resolve before, and it confused the fuck out of me. So Filmora is more my speed. That's what I use. You can download a free version, I believe, of Filmora to try it out. But I have a version that I bought when I was when I was like 18 or 19, and because I bought it back then, I believe it's only subscription based now, but I bought it back when you could just buy it, and so I have it for life, and it is good. Like it gets the job done, obviously, but DaVinci Resolve has always been way above my pay grade in terms of editing, which I should probably learn at some point how to do DaVinci Resolve better, but I'm an old man when it comes to technology like that.
Lady Arabelle asks about the nobility, while 2 of my retainers are missing. The Society of the Steadfast will do whatever is necessary to keep its people safe. She mentioned the Ascendant Order might be involved. Do you think that's possible?
We know the Ascendant Order has been attacking people all across High Isle.
Yes, I understand that you and Lady Arabelle have tangled with these brigands before. They claim to be knights, but they have no honor. Will you do as Lady Arabelle suggested and look for my retainers? I would consider it a personal favor.
Where were your retainers headed?
I sent Grenier and Denise to retrieve a shipment from the Navir docks, but I expected them back ages ago. They were traveling the road to the south. I just pray no evil befell them. The supplies we can lose, but good people are irreplaceable.
I'll look for your missing retainers.
Thank you, my friend. I'll confer with Lady Arabelle while we await your return. I'll tell her everything I know about the nobility of High Isle, if she really thinks that will help. I knew peace would be hard to achieve, but I never expected a war.
Okay.
Did you hear that the Great Shackle was destroyed?
No. Now, I do know I should go here and delete some stuff from my inventory. Yeah, I can get rid of this stuff. That is a lot of bullshit, actually. Hey, Master of Refinement. Captured on stream. I used to borrow my girlfriend's Adobe stuff since she needed it for uni, but now she's finished studies, so we just sailed the 7 seas. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I know Adobe is pretty good as well. Adobe has fallen worse than Bethesda has. That may also be true. Okay. I learned Blender. Hopefully I can learn DaVinci. Blender, I learned just enough Blender to be able to make those 3D models that I did of the Orbis. That's all I ever did. But that was self-taught. I really I could learn so much if I actually took a class or anything. But I just kind of figured it out myself. Okay, to whoever finds this, ambush. Knights in unmarked livery, no house emblems. They were waiting for us, tried to fight, but there were too many. Denise got away, she ran south, but 2 of those murderers chased after her. The rest looted our wagon. Don't understand. Lord Bacaro was sure the road to Castle Nevere was safe. Can't hang on much longer. Tell my indecipherable scrawl. I was also... You guys will have to let me know what you think of this idea. But I know that Frostbreak made a video that was... He did a Malort challenge a little bit ago. And I'm thinking about it, and it could be something that is fun to do. I don't want to drink Malort, by the way. But could be something that's fun to do, and I think that we could make a video out of it. I don't know how exactly we would do it, but if people would be interested in seeing something like that, here's the real reason I bring this up. if I did a Malort challenge, it might be a reason to do a face reveal. And if people are interested in that, that could be something fun to do. Maybe for like, I'm going to tentatively say a 100,000 subscriber special. Could be fun to do a face reveal Malort challenge type thing. Backpack. Me sending 50,000 bots to sub to Dareloth immediately. Hey man, it boosts the channel. A lot of people gonna have to change their underwear after a face reveal. 100% for sure. Yeah, I was talking with my girlfriend about like doing more content with her. Like, I don't want to just ape off of stuff that other people have done, but she was like, oh, like what if I did? Because she knows like I did my Q&A with her, and I actually have a video I haven't edited yet that's her and I talking, but like she knows, and no offense to her, I absolutely love her, but she knows like nothing, like next to nothing about Elder Scrolls lore other than the multitudes of shit I've dumped on her, and she's been a great sport for listening to me like just rant in her ear about all this shit. And so anyway, it'd be interesting to see her like play Skyrim through a blind playthrough or something like that, or like, I don't know. But I know like Frostbreak has done similar videos like that. I don't want to just ape off of stuff that he's done, so I don't know. If you do a face reveal, please don't start plastering your face everywhere, making cringe faces on thumbnails. Everything is webcam focused now. NB Ranger, a big Fallout channel, did that recently, and it's insufferable. Well, the thing is that it works. Like, there's some psychology behind it where it's like, yeah, people, like, when you see someone doing, like, a weird face and pointing at something, instinctively for a lot of people, it does make you want to click on the video. So yeah, I mean, I get it. It is kind of annoying. I get that. If you don't look like prime Arnold Schwarzenegger, then you're actually chopped, bro. True. Your voice sounds like a friend of mine, and he likes Tess, so I just imagine you as him, so it's my own personal headcanon. Yeah, I don't want to ruin your headcanon or anything. Listen, 50,000 more subscribers. That's a long way to go. Okay, Night Rochelle. Tomorrow morning, a wagon escorted by 2 Society of the Steadfast Retainers will travel to Steadfast Manor from the docks at Castle Navir. Take your knights and set up an ambush along the road. You are to kill the 2 retainers, a man named Grineer and a woman named Denise. They have seen things they should not have seen and must be eliminated. Confiscate the wagon's load for use by the Order. Any other spoils are yours to keep, but remember the retainers are your mission, not the supplies. There are several good spots to conceal your knights between Castle Navir and Steadfast Manor. I'm sure you will pick a suitable site, the Ascendant Magus. Okay, the red arrows and circles are in thumbnails because they drive the views. Yeah, for sure. And I've done the red arrow thing a couple times. Not to say that, like, it's ever helped a ton doing the red arrow thing, but, like, it also doesn't hurt. But most of the time when I've done the red arrow thing, it's been, like, for my April Fool's videos. Also, you didn't answer my question in the Q&A. Oh shit, what did you ask?
I shouldn't just walk into someone's
I will
home,
say.
even if they were rude.
Okay. No, I won't say. But yeah, let me know what. Oh shit, we both left this. What was your question in the Q&A? What is Obama's last name? Dude, okay, we answered that, but I don't know if it made it into the final video. Because I totally did answer that. But I don't think it made it into the final cut. And for that, I truly apologize. Well, it was getting to be like, the Q&A was like an hour and a half long, and I was like, I need to end this at some point. So I did wind up cutting some stuff, and I think that might have been it. Very distressing. Yeah, very distressing. But no, I remember reading that and laughing. Okay, I'm taking this chicken emote off, by the way. Nearly as bad as the heist you pulled. Oh god. That heist was awesome. I don't even think I have the footage to that. I think you are the sole proprietor of that footage. Or no, if that was in the final day of Legends, then I have that footage. I really do need to upload that footage because I've had it on my hard drive for over a year now. You earned that chicken? Yeah, that's true. It'll be somewhere in the dozens of hours. Yeah, literally twos of dozens. For that final day stream. Although you were a braver warrior than I did go to play ESO for an hour of that stream. How much drive space do you have? 4 terabytes.
You return alone. I take it the news is not good. Grineer and Denise were not just retainers. They were friends. The Steadfast shall miss them, and so shall I. Please, tell me what happened.
Your retainers were killed. I found these orders from the Ascendant Magus.
Grineer and Denise were helping arrange a banquet at Castle Navir. Then they were to collect the supplies and return here. What could they have seen that would cost them their lives? The banquet is just to welcome our royal guests to the island.
Grineer wrote this note before he died. He tried to fight back.
The Ascendant Order. Plundering Steadfast supplies and killing our retainers. Damn. It was brave of Grineer to try to fight back, but foolish. The supplies weren't worth their lives.
We suspect a wealthy noble may be funding the Ascendant Order.
So Lady Arabelle informed me. I'd hesitate to accuse anyone, but perhaps you should join me at Castle Navir. All the nobles of High Isle will be there, and if my retainers did see something at the castle, perhaps you can determine what that was.
All right, I'll meet you at Castle Navir.
Duchess Elea of House Dufort is hosting the banquet. She's decided to go ahead and throw the party, even though our guests of honor are still missing. Go to Castle Navir's courtyard. Introduce yourself when you arrive. Be discreet, please.
I think this is where you can meet Laura Bailey's character, but I already have her as a follower.
It's a shame the Ascendant Order got to Lord Baccaro's retainers before you could. What could they have seen that warranted their deaths? Perhaps we'll learn more at Castle Navir, although I'm certainly not in the mood for a party.
Lord Baccaro said several nobles will be in attendance.
And our missing guests of honor will no doubt be the main topic of discussion. This is a chance to listen, as well as ask questions. Make sure you speak to Alea Dufort, Demar Dufort, and John Menard. They'll be the most important nobles present.
Hey, rule of 3. Remember how I said that 2 hours ago at the beginning of the quest? Rule of 3 is always applicable in ESO. They always make you do 3 things in almost every quest. Alea Dufort, Demar Dufort, and Joan Menard. Or Jean Menard. Do you suspect them?
Until we know more, I suspect everybody. But if any of the nobles are funding the Ascendant Order, I think it likely that it's one of the grand families of High Isle. That means House Dufort or House Menard. Either way, we'll know more soon.
Who are Alea Dufort, Demar Dufort, and Jean Menard?
Alea is the Duchess of House Dufort, and nominal ruler of High Isle. Demard is her brother and a count. John Menard is the highest-ranking noble of House Menard, currently on High Isle. He's Count Leonard's cousin, representing house interests here.
Okay. It was like 37 hours or something in the end. Fuck-ass video game. True. Fucking hate the Elder Scrolls Legends. I know people meme on Tess Adventures Redguard, but I wish they'd made more Adventures games. I think there's so much room for spin-off games in Elder Scrolls, it's crazy that we haven't gotten more. I really like that this person who's never played video games plays this game type of video. I find it very interesting to see how non-gamers interact with video games. Well, like, my girlfriend plays video games. She just didn't... She never played Skyrim. It's just missed her. I think that she would like Skyrim, but she just never got into it. And, I don't know. Yet again, Elder Scrolls travels, Dawnguard clears. The Dawnguard sweep. Speaking of Redguard, how do you think Todd is worried... Or do you think Todd is worried about repeating history, considering Test 6 will most likely be about Redguards and set in Hammerfell? Well, like, Redguard isn't necessarily about Hammerfell. It's about, like, Cyrus. And so, I do think that there's some room for another story set in Hammerfell, especially post-4th era, or during the 4th era. I think there's a lot of room for a story in Hammerfell, so as long as they don't, you know, colossally fuck it up, I think, I don't think it should be a problem. Redguard from 98 will definitely be better than Elder Scrolls 6. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm holding out some hope. I think that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be probably pretty bad, but man, I'm just excited that it's called Sentinel. I feel very vindicated with that. Because a lot of people have been saying it's the Iliac Bay for a while, and Sentinel is in the Iliac Bay, but that does give me some hope that it's going to be more of a Redguard-centric plot, and I mean Redguard in terms of the race and not the game. Cope maxing for morale. Exactly. But I'm still always trying to be realistic that the game is likely not going to be that good.
Might as well enjoy ourselves while we're here. Do you still prefer a Russafeld Red, my lady?
That would be delightful. Thank you, Bacaro. Introduce yourself to the nobility, my friend. And remember, even the smallest detail could be the clue we seek.
Okay. They actually confirmed it's Sentinel. They did not confirm it's Sentinel, but it's, as far as I'm aware, I don't believe they fully confirmed it's Sentinel, but it seems like that's the vibe. Also, I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but I've been getting really bad connection issues throughout the live stream, so I think what I'm going to wind up doing is we're going to end stream here, and I know that might be disappointing for some people, but I do need to get to bed relatively soon as well, so I do apologize, but we'll pick up here next time, and we'll have a series to do on the channel for the next little bit here. So, yeah, the connection has just been really bad recently in the past little bit. So I think I'm going to end stream here. We will hopefully pick this up in the next couple days, if not just throughout the next week. And hopefully we will be able to finish High Isle, and I will actually have an opinion on it. If anyone wants to join the Discord, please feel free. We've got, yeah, I get notifications when the stream is going down, and that's happened a couple times this stream. So if anyone wants to join the Discord server is available in, if you go to my main channel and you click on extra links, there is a link for the Discord there. Feel free to join, you don't have to, but you can stay a little bit more in the loop by doing so. And yeah, we will hopefully have a video on Sentinel coming out soon, and then we'll have a video on the Companions and the College of Winterhold coming out soon, and then we will have the Souls video coming out soon. So those are the projects in the works. Talk to you guys all later. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you soon. Peace out, everybody.